Hey everyone, welcome to the Urban Robot Cat podcast. I'm your host, Travis Likens.
I'm Chris RWK.
And I'm Corey from Strange Cat Toys.
And we're here for episode 62. And again, it's, we haven't got back on that regular schedule, but it has been about a month since we were last here. So I guess we'll start out with saying, hey, Chris, what have you been up to for the past month?
Well, I had a really bad sinus infection for a little bit, so it kind of knocked me on my ass. But I'm back to work, just working on new stuff, new merch. I released a whole bunch of merch on the website about a week, maybe a week and a half ago. Did really well. So just working on some new designs. That's about it.
Yeah. So saw the store
What
went
about
up. It looked like it looked like a bunch of really cool options for people, from everything from shirts to coffee mugs. So it looks like no matter how you want to support Robots Will Kill, you can do that now.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I did some new pillows, new shirts, new hoodies. Everybody always asks for hoodies. The one thing I haven't done yet is some new hats, because I'm just trying to find the right hat people, because, getting hats made is a pain in the ass. You want to make sure that...
Don't use Cat Beast. Awful.
Never
Not
heard of him,
sponsored, obviously.
I'll make sure to put the not list.
Yeah, hats are tough because I think everybody kind of has the hat they like, and obviously a lot of those people are like new era people, or there's like a certain snapback kind of person, or there's a certain, type of hat, and everybody's comparing the hat to that no matter where it comes from. So it's kind of hard to, put out a hat unless you have access to specific brands that people kind of like. So I definitely understand your issues there.
Yeah, it's between that and the embroidery. You just want to make sure it's like a good tight embroidery, and a lot of these places just do like mall stitching. So it's like
that's what I had with Cat Beast.
Yeah.
So I'm holding off on those. I'm not rushing hats yet because it is such a huge investment too. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
Why not just go cowboy hat?
Hey, I think that's a good idea.
I'll do like a fabric band that goes around it, right?
Oh, like those. No, you should. Those like hats they give out for free. Like like they're like Bud Light. They're like they look like boxes that have been folded into hats. You should get one of those, but it's Robots Will Kill.
What the hell are you talking about?
It's like a cowboy hat made out of a beer carton. Like, come on.
I've seen those.
Oh God, you're so Midwest. I've never fucking seen that in my life.
No, I think it's something you'd see in like Florida. Like, it definitely sounds like a Florida thing.
I think I saw a bunch at a Kenny Chesney concert like 15 years ago.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, first off, you said Kenny Chesney, so come on. You're thinking about the Floribama coast.
Yeah.
We got some dogs that aren't happy about these hats back here either. So,
see. What about you, Corey? What have you been up to?
Oh, I ordered these new shirts from this guy, Robots Will Kill. They're very soft in comparison to what I'm used to, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Thank God.
Other than that, just holding down the fort with Yvette while one of our staff is gone for 3 weeks. I got used to not shipping and packing as much, and I got spoiled.
You just hired this person? They're gone for 5 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, so she did leave also prior for like 2 weeks, but she went to Japan and made us a bunch of connections at WonderCon, so it's worked out.
Fair.
Yeah.
Nice. Research, reconnaissance.
Yes. We do have a new release coming out, I want to say April 8th on this new gem pod. So this will be coming out shortly.
The highly anticipated and loved gem pod. So.
Yes, everybody loves that. Oh, and the Christopher Luke skulls finished early. So these are being shipped next week to us.
Nice.
So we're going to have them shipped by air. So they'll be here super fast.
Those are sweet, and it's awesome that when things get done early, keep those fans happy.
Yep. What about you, Travis?
So it's been a busy few weeks here. I'm still trying to get things kind of organized over at the warehouse because I've got to clear some space because we're going to be doing our first event in May. I'm not dropping the date just yet, but we're going to be doing our first ever in-person event here in Dayton, Ohio. It's going to be called UVD One Night Stand. We're going to be doing an art show featuring artwork from many of the artists that we support and make products with. from all over the world. So we're going to bring their artwork here to Dayton. We're going to be setting up a pop-up gallery space inside of the warehouse. So I have to get organized because I need enough space to actually show that off. So I've ordered some walls. That sounds funny to say, but I've ordered some walls that I can set up to make a pop-up gallery. It's going to look really nice, and it's going to be a nice display for everybody. And hopefully we can get a good turnout and get some maybe get some artists out here and do some cool stuff to help promote not only what UBD is doing locally, so we can get a better presence here locally, but also get a better eyes on some of the artists that we support. So that's the big thing that's kind of going on here. Today we did drop the long anticipated bacon colorway of the Dead Stock by Quest One. If you're a sneakerhead, you know that back in the day, this was a very highly coveted colorway of the Air Max 90. And actually, before when we designed and said, hey, we want to do this colorway, they hadn't decided they were going to retro it, and then they retroed it. So it kind of brought it back to the forefront. So this was kind of like a one-time release before that. So it's kind of cool that timing wise, it kind of worked out and got the bacons back in everybody's mind and all that kind of stuff. So, but currently available, ubdtoys.com is the only place to get it. $65 each, and they've been selling pretty well. So hopefully, if you're looking to get one, they're limited to 100 pieces. So you're probably going to want to jump on it before they're gone. And then we just lost Corey. I guess he didn't pay his internet again. So we will wait and see if Corey returns to us here. Oh, there he is. Let me put him back in the feed. Looks like Corey didn't pay his internet again. Well, now he can't talk. He's muted. Let me unmute him. Oh, it doesn't. There he goes. Can you talk?
There you go.
There I realized I logged in and I couldn't talk in the chat. I was like, this is right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to pull up the chat. There we go. Got to do that too.
Yeah.
Let's see. There it is. We got some chat going on. Nothing too crazy, but we do have some listeners out there. Viewers, I guess would be the correct term. And so the other thing I was doing that wasn't release related or location related, I went to Atlanta last week, and while I was down there, I visited Greg Mike's ABV gallery. Checked out the show that they had going on down there. Got to see a lot of cool original artwork, some from artists that I recognize and some from people I didn't. So it's always cool to go to a show and learn about new artists as well. It was really cool to see the gallery space. It's a nice little space. It's in like it's like a creatives kind of space. So there's a lot of different like artists and studios and things in there. But Greg's gallery is like right in the heart of it. Right. Well, not the heart of it, I guess you'd say. It's kind of like in the front. So it's like before you get to the heart of it. So it's kind of cool location, and it's in a cool spot. And looks like they're doing some really cool stuff. And in the area, there's a lot of different murals from artists from the area and then around the country as well. So it's always cool to run into big originals and all that kind of stuff as well. It's just a fun time. If you're in Atlanta, I'd definitely say look up ABV. Go check it out. Hopefully, I got lucky. They had a show that opened the week before that, so like it was basically a new show. So it's pretty cool to check all that out and see it in person.
Nice.
Yeah. Go see the show next month. I have some pieces in it. The 6x6.
I was about to ask you when Chris RWK was going to be in a show there.
I've been in a
one
few
before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is my fourth one. I did the wet paint.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Was at ABV.
6x6, and I think one other show.
Nice.
So this, I think, is the fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's a cool space though. I mean, definitely if you're in the area, you're going to want to stop in and check it out because Greg's doing some cool stuff down there. So
is there a tail moving? What is next to Corey? What? Oh, I saw her in the chat, and I was like, "Wait!"
But she screams when you pick her up, so I'm just going to leave her alone.
I thought it was what is it? What's that from Star Trek? A Tribble? Trouble? Yeah.
Trouble with Tribbles?
Yeah, Tribble. There we go. So, but we didn't come on here to BS just about us and cats and dogs and whatnot. we do have a guest
and bacon.
And bacon, yeah, and bacon.
Our first live guest.
No, it's our second. Blake was our first.
Oh shit, we did have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Oh,
were
man,
just
this-
you were
this is-
just like you weren't able to show videos, so nobody knew you were here.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
This is why I miss not being live. You could have edited that out.
Yeah. So we do have a guest this week, and it is the one and only Zard Apuya, and we have him on the screen now. So we do know how to use the technology that we have purchased to do the show with, and we welcome you to the show. So the first thing that we do ask Zard is that if you could tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do in the world of art.
Yeah, for sure. Hi everyone. My name is Zard. I am a toy artist. That's why I'm here. But I'm originally from Guam, so I always like to rep where I'm originally from. So I'm based in San Diego right now, but I was born and raised on Guam. Like lived there for like 25 years. Moved out to California probably like 2013, 10 years ago. So
Nice.
a while already, yeah. So I've been doing art pretty much my whole life. I was one of those kids that likes to sketch and draw, do whatever. I only got into custom toys probably after college. So when I was still living on Guam after I graduated, it's more like I had more time on my hands. Let me try something new. And so I kind of started out with I think my first custom was a Kid Robot Money. That's kind of like my intro into the custom toy world. And yeah, and then since then I've been doing it. Let's see. If you've seen my pieces, you know I kind of specialize in the food theme, so I'm a big foodie guy. I think I was able to kind of like quickly figure out like, I want to stick with food. Like probably 2 years into toy design, and then I think from the feedback that I get from people, I was like, people love this. I'm like, I'm just gonna stick with food because like I love food. Everyone loves food. Kind of like works. Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't love food?
It gives me a reason to kind of like eat more. So it's like a win-win for me. But yeah, so I've been doing that for since I've been doing that for 10 years now, and I just do all projects. I do art shows all the time. We're gonna talk about my upcoming solo show, but yeah, I think coming out of California pretty much gave me a lot more opportunity to kind of like do more of these things, because like on Guam it was kind of like a new thing, so I didn't really have much. People didn't really know much about it until I moved out here, where people were like kind of appreciate it. So it's nice to kind of represent and get involved in the art community out here.
Yeah. Now, my first experience with you actually was when the bots and I did a show using the Luna platform,
yes.
And you did a custom piece for that show we had at Decon. And I honestly didn't know who you were before that. They had suggested we talk to you because they'd found your work and thought it was really cool. And then when the piece came in, you dropped it off at our booth, and immediately I started looking at it. I was just like, how do I not know who this guy is? Like, this is amazing. Like, it's so awesome. And at the time I thought, wow, that's crazy. But then I swear from that point on, your work has just evolved and got so much better. That it's just, your work now is just amazing. And I mean, Corey was looking for new folks a few years back, and I was like, you got to talk to this guy. Like, I'm telling you, this work is amazing. And to see it go from that all the way to where you're doing a solo show at Corey's gallery, it's just amazing. You know, like it's just awesome to see your evolution from the point that I had just never heard of you to now.
Like when I think like that's why I always look back at because I keep track of all my pieces I've done over 10 years. I think from when I first started till now, I think I'm at 2,500 customs. So
wow.
So like those are hand painted, hand sculpted, whatever, like different platforms and everything. Yeah, so like, and that's like kind of most of them are commissions or like things I sell. Like in my own personal collection, I don't really keep any of my pieces. The only thing I have in stock is everything I sell online, but pretty much majority of my pieces are like all out there around the world. So it's nice to kind of like think about that. Yeah, and then like just comparing like how I evolved and my style evolved over the years. It's kind of nice to see. And my style is like I do like realism, so it's kind of fun to see like what food I haven't done yet. So out of those 2,500, majority, like 90% of those are food. So I've kind of covered different menu ranges of like snacks, foods, whatever out there. Like a little game I always play with people. It's like, name a food. I'll tell you if I did it or not. Majority of the time, I pretty much did it. So the good thing, I never run out of ideas. There's always something I haven't done yet. So
they'll always come up with some new chip flavor.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why there's
the first custom that my daughter got, who's 5 now, she was 4 at the time, was your Dino Nugget at Decon.
Oh, yeah.
So good. I was like, this is perfect. Like I would never have thought I'd seen a Dino Nugget custom money.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and I think that one that was from like my series. I did like nostalgic pieces. So like I think that piece of the Dino Nuggets and then the body was like that floor mat, that
Yeah.
3D rug that everyone had. So like I had that growing up. So I kind of like did that. I love doing nostalgic stuff, especially the people around our age. Just like they kind of like they're all familiar with it, but like you don't really see it in a toy form, especially when it comes to food. That's why I want to be that guy that kind of like does it. So
Yeah. Let's see. So what I was trying to do, and this is me trying to use my technology. Let's see here. I'm going to exit. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I don't know how to do this. I thought I did.
You try to show pictures?
Yeah.
Did you do that one time?
I think I did it in practice, but apparently in actuality, I can't actually do that.
Just kidding.
It's choking under pressure. Uh-oh.
So you guys talk amongst yourself, and I'll maybe figure it out.
I think you need to take away one of the boxes because we're taking up all the space.
No, I think it's something different. I just think I got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, Corey.
Yep. Okay.
So your
Okay,
TikTok
so-
game is very impressive. How long does it take you to make and edit one of those videos?
A good question. Yeah. So I think like doing videos in general, probably I've only been doing it for I think since 2021. It's more. I think I started doing it with Instagram first, just because they said, "Oh, you got to do reels now." It's just because the whole like crazy algorithm, whatever. So I'm like, oh, I guess I got to do videos. But at the time, I wasn't really doing like videos of me, the process videos, which people always ask me. I'm like, man, I'm so lazy to record myself painting because I think it's boring. Like, I don't know if people will like this, but weird enough, like I like watching people doing their process. So it's just me like kind of downing myself. But I think let me do reveals because it's just quick and easy. So like when I do these videos, I'm like, I just on the spot, like, okay, how can I do some cool ass reveal? Or I always have the real food, like if it's inspired by like a snack, so I always have the snack on hand. So I figured let me just do kind of like a transition or like change it up and like here's the toy and then like I have the snack and then bam, it just changes to the custom. Usually those things I record like for a good 5 minutes and then I use CapCut. That's the app I use for editing. Get like 5 minutes too. It's super easy. It's like super quick. It's just coming up with like transition ideas, like what I should do. But yeah, I mean, like I always look forward to that now. Like I kind of like have a part 2 of like each custom. Like, okay, I finished the custom. Now I look forward to like how I'm gonna do a cool video to reveal this to people. Like this is a new piece, so that's kind of like the kind of keeps me excited and like something creative, something more creative I could do. Yeah, and then like since TikTok is the new thing now, so might as well like post all the videos on TikTok, and it's pretty good. Like people enjoy it. People like to be entertained, so kind of get it.
Did you notice like any like uptick or increase in your follower base like once you started doing the videos?
Yeah, on TikTok for sure. Like I think my first couple months, like weeks, or maybe the first 2 months, I got a good surge of followers from it. It's like I figure like as long as you have a good ass video that people are like so interested in, and then just get a boost of like followers on that. Instagram not so much. I think Instagram's just been like a crazy beast. Like it's just you never get it.
It's hard to keep up with whatever's causing it to be cool on
It's just like I try like I feel like sometimes the engagement kind of slowed down and I like to blame it on the algorithm, whatever, but sometimes I'm like, fuck, I think my thing sucks now. Like people don't like it. That's just me thinking that.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. We've been watching a thing on my personal Instagram, which has less than 1,000 followers. But for some reason, there's a video that I posted that now has 5,200 likes.
Yeah, see, it's like it's random, right? It's like hard to tell.
Like nothing on my business Instagram has ever had that many likes. And it's just like, what is it with Instagram and the algorithm? And you look at some posts, they show it to tons of people, and then you look at a post that's like, I have like 16,000 followers, and they'll show it to like 1,200 people.
Yeah, it's
and
weird. And then the thing is, you see the data, then the analytics, and then like it just makes no sense why you're not showing it to people who actually follow my account. It's like they're the people like I'm trying to like sell. These are the collectors I'm going for. Like, why are you not showing to these guys? That's if you're pissing me off, pushing me all the time.
If you're listening to this video or this what'll end up on a podcast eventually, guys, as a listener, if you enjoy anything any of us do, you need to go and figure out the best way to follow us. For myself, it's if you want to get the newsletter, that's where like you'll get an email. You can always get your email. There's no algorithm to stop it from coming from you other than your spam filter. So that's the best way to keep up, kind of a way. And I know Chris and Corey both have newsletters as well. I don't know if you have one, Zard, but I suggest getting one if you don't have it, because it's literally the only one that can't be victim to any algorithm.
That
Other
and
than
Discord.
Yeah, Discord. That's another good one. That's a lot more work, though, as Corey can tell you.
Yeah.
But you can build.
Well, no, you
a
get
very
you get
good
moderators.
following.
Yeah, I
that's
have
true.
mods. Very
Yeah.
nice mods that
Yeah.
set it all up for me.
Yeah. So I guess that helps too, if you have people to do it. I don't have people because I got no peoples.
The newsletter, I think, definitely helps because it is such a direct contact with people who are signing up. So they actually give a shit. It's like they're there for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just a great way to do that. Now, one interesting thing about your TikToks and your Instagrams I've noticed is that you started out doing it to reveal your customs and pieces, but it looks like you're getting some like real gigs out of this. I'm seeing some sponsored ads.
Yeah. It kind of works too. That's like the other beauty of doing food as my theme. Like I get the best of both worlds. So like I've been getting some good exposure from some of the food brands that I kind of like feature on my customs. Whether it's like fan art or like, oh, we love what you did for our brand. They'll send me free stuff sometimes, like free packaging, like care packages. And then like sometimes I apply for these campaigns where like, it's like I hate using the word influencer. I hate that. I like
that's what you are though.
I'd rather say I'm a content creator. This sounds more like so I'll do the videos and all that stuff. So like I try to apply for different platforms. There's like many platforms out there. And sometimes they reach out to me too. So they say like, oh, we had this gig, like we'd love to send you something. And then they post about it. And then I always tell them like, well, I'm an artist. Like I'm not like my account's it's not really about food or lifestyle, whatever. I always tell them like I'm an artist first and foremost. I'm always going to do like some artistic approach to it. And so like whatever thing I'm trying to feature, like I'll do like either custom or like make some like miniature food based on that. But I always try to incorporate that just because it's hard for artists to kind of like have to bridge the gap between artists and food or restaurant brands. So I'm trying to do that. And even here locally in San Diego, there's some like restaurants where I like kind of do some collaborations with them. And like it's a win-win because like I help them get some exposure. They help me get some exposure. It's kind of like, that's why I like doing the food, just because I'm able to have a bigger like audience, both people who like the food and people who like the art. And so that's why it's kind of helped me over the years.
Yeah. Well, and then it parlayed into an official collab with on the Canbot, correct? With Cup Noodle.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one too. Yeah. Stuff like that. It's kind of it's been working out. Hopefully more of that in the future.
It's again to see you go from the first time I ever saw you with that Luna Custom all the way to this. I mean, you've kind of taken this is really far, and you've been able to do really cool things with it, and not just be not just do like you've just made a whole thing about it with like the videos and and working with brands and like turning out and doing an official toy and everything. It's really cool to see it all kind of evolve and develop. And then also just like once I met you and realized like, dude, you're just a cool guy. It was just like this, it all makes sense now, like, it's just like, oh, this all kind of works together. And it's just awesome to see because at this point, I think we can all talk candidly a little bit about the custom scene, but like, the custom scene kind of, it had a big ramp and then it kind of dipped down a little bit and then it's ramping back up, but it's kind of like, I feel like it got a little stagnant there. But I feel like you're at the top of that now. And, I think with the show coming up, you're going to see like that growth again. And it's exciting to see where it can go from here.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like this just because since I'm like so used to like using like Kid Robot, like Monies and Dunnies. So every time I'm introduced to like a new platform, it's always a challenge for me. Like when I did the Luna, that's like, how do I kind of interpret my food theme to this? And I mean, I love the way it worked out, but like, I think that's my challenge now. Like I'll take different new platforms I'm like very unfamiliar with. And that's kind of like the challenge I like now.
Just because you can always count on me to toss you some sort of weird challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's a ghost motor.
The better. And then like I sometimes like amazed. I was like, holy shit, how did it come up?
I was like, hey dude, I got 3 ghost motors for you. What do you want to do? He was
the ghost motor, that one was a tricky one. That was a fun one though.
Hey, they
People
all
love that.
sold within like the first like 10 minutes of the show. So it
Yeah.
worked.
I think honestly, when I did those, so like I think the way my creative process is kind of crazy. It's like hard. It's like if you send me stuff early, like I don't really work on it till like closer to the deadline, just because like I always think like, oh, I'm gonna come up with a cool idea towards the end or something. And I
It
think it's
sounds
kind
like
of been
every
working for
artist
me.
I've ever talked to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, the best ideas come when I'm like under pressure or stressed out. So kind of like, I don't know. I mean that's just like the way my mind works, kind of crazy.
Yeah. But
Definitely
yeah,
got to send him a robot, Travis.
yeah, when we
When we get the
some
robots,
gigs
we
in.
definitely got to send him one.
Yeah, that would be sick. I totally want to try customizing all those.
I'd be honored.
Yeah, did you saw the one at Decon, right? You saw how big it is before you signed up for that.
How big was that one? Was that like
They're 15 inches tall.
damn?
I almost grabbed one and then I was like, oh wait, we can't show that one.
No,
Chris has the
and
only
mine's in the other room.
Yeah. So, but no, it's going to be a cool piece, and we are going to do some sort of show at some point. So we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. Now that I'm going to have a pop-up gallery, maybe we can do it there. So, but as far as I guess I'll toss this over to Corey, let you pump the show a little bit, because I know it's a couple of firsts here. It is the first solo misappropriated icon show.
Yes, it is.
Before we jump too far into this, I'm going to remind everybody, these are not real causes. So do not think that. This is a bootleg cause custom show. But Corey, I will let you take it from there.
Yeah, it is a bootleg show, and I'm always a little surprised every year when there's still people like, why are you using bootlegs? Like, this is like the sixth one. Like, it's fine. Like, we've been doing it.
And people, like, why would people want you to destroy a highly sought after vinyl figure? Or, I'm not saying destroy, but you take it out of like cycle, like out of a circulation. Why would we want to do that when, like on the Safubi side, if somebody customizes a highly sought after Safubi figure, people get upset. Like, why did you do that? Right. I don't know why people don't feel the same way about the cause figures. It makes total sense to me to utilize the bootleg and utilize his iconography, but not destroy the figures that are highly sought after by collectors.
Well,
so 100% it makes sense to me.
It's very much the minority of people that are haters or complain about it. Like, I talked to cause collectors, before the first show and the second show to get like their feelings about it. And they're like, no, don't chop up a real cause. Just use the bootlegs. They're already out there. It's better than them going to somebody's house like it's a real cause, and we're not making these bootlegs. They already exist.
Yeah. And you're clear and upfront and honest from the, like all the information includes that. So I don't know why that's all. Every year though, there's somebody.
Yeah, and then
people seeing a lot of people comment that too. They're always clarifying, are these bootlegs or whatever. Like sometimes I don't know whether to interpret their comment as like, do you not want us to use bootlegs or not or whatever. But
right,
it's I mean, it 100% makes sense to me. I mean, like it'd be like if you were in the movies or whatever, and they were like, we're going to wreck this 67 Shelby GT500 Mustang, and we're going to wreck a real one because we want to be like so real. Like everybody would be so mad. Just go get it, make it look like a Shelby GT500. Like that's what you should do. Like don't wreck a real one. Like that's the same concept here.
Yeah, so. And like I don't ever hear people or see people commenting on like DKE's custom bootleg action figure show. Like, that's Jar Jar Binks. That you're not supposed to deface Jar Jar Binks. Like same fucking thing.
Those Jar Jar
really? Wait. Say Jar Jar Binks. Really? Is that what you're going to use? Maybe pick somebody.
They actually are. They actually are pretty rare because they basically only made them in that first run, and because everybody hated them so much that they never really made more of them. So those figures are kind of rare in comparison to a lot of Star Wars figures. So just tossing it out there.
But yeah, it's the first solo show, and I felt Zard was very much the person to do for this show. You've been in 2 other shows, and they, in my opinion, like the best out of the bunches, and people flipped out the most over your noodles one. And then the Reese's cup last year was just like bonkers. Like I had so many people hitting me up like, where can I buy this? How can I buy this? Like people wanted to pay more than what we were trying to sell it for, you know? So I think
Bidding
it was
war.
an
You
easy
should have
buy.
opened it up as an
You're
auction.
asking like, do you have any more of those Reese's? Like, no, that's just a one-off I did for that show. Like, but I did also get people like hit me up afterwards. I'm like, oh no, that's just that one time.
So I don't know if you want to go into your thoughts and your planning for what you did for this show.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I appreciate. I mean, like, an honor to kind of like do the first solo of the Misappropriate. So, I originally I thought when you offered to me, I'm like, oh, this can be like a separate part on top of the group one. And then like when you told me like it's a solo, like, oh man, more pressure now. Like just be focused on myself. So I got to make sure I deliver the good stuff. So yeah, I mean for this, I did want to stick with my food theme. So now I have like, how can I? What other ideas can I do with the cause? And it's such an iconic design, kind of recognizable figure. It's like, but I still want to incorporate the food part. So that was the biggest challenge. But I was able to kind of come up with some cool food to feature in it. I started posting some of it. I think I'll start posting in the next few days till the show this weekend. But you kind of see the range of like different designs I've done. So, and I already did the one I already featured like some cereals. Just like I try to like picture things that food I like, and like food that probably people would appreciate too. I try to cover different like snacks, cereals, and then do like I did like the pho noodles. So I try to like cover different areas of the food. I mean, it's such a big like food. The food world is just so big. Like I don't know which one.
Yeah.
My idea is like I want to pick something that people will like, not just me too. So I kind of like think like that.
Yeah, I mean the charcuterie board you shared is absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah,
see it in person. It's fucking bonkers.
that was a fun one because like if you compare my designs, like sometimes I just take the cause figure and put it in a bowl of like cereal or put it in a bowl of soup. But then I also want to offer a good variety piece where like I'm actually taking the cause and like turning itself into food. So that's where I did a charcuterie. And so like I mean like I love it with my friends. We always play around the charcuterie board. So I'm like, oh, this is fun stuff. I think it's trending right now. And so like the way I look at the figure, it's like, let me just chop it up, look at the head, arms, body, and like, okay, this is, I have to kind of split it up by what can this one be? It's like the way I do my food designs, it's like, I think like a chef, right? Like a chef, they break down my ingredients. So that's how I do like all my designs. Like when I do the ramens, I do a lot, the noodles. So I kind of like work on each piece separately. So like I kind of sculpt the meat, I'll sculpt the toppings, the noodles, and then I'll assemble in the ends. Just like a chef kind of like creates a dish. So that's my thought process where like when I create all my designs. So exactly like the charcuterie, like let me just break it down by pieces and then assemble it in the end. And it turned out pretty cool. Like I kind of like how it looks. People that like it, so
yeah. No, that it's just awesome. Like, and of course, if cause was going to be any kind of group snack, it would be charcuterie. That or like Grey Poupon or something.
Something fancy.
Caviar.
Exactly, right?
So it works out really, really perfectly. So I guess one question about the show, are all of them the same size, or are there various sizes of figures in this run?
We have I have two sizes. So we have the big ones. Corey, what size are those? Like I don't know the measure.
Those are probably like the 16-inch
They're about
ones.
16-inch, yeah,
Right,
16-inch, and the other ones are like 8-inch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like
So
I think for sure like half. So like half of them are the larger ones and half of the smaller ones.
yeah. So I guess my point of asking there is there's going to be a variety of price points for different price range of collector. Okay, great.
Yeah,
so that was
all
I was trying to drive home here.
And I cover as much as I can, like even deciding which one is going to be the big, which is going to be the small one too.
Yeah. I think it's good. And it looks like we've got a question here from Daniel Taylor. Zard, is your favorite junk food a sweet or savory?
Oh man, I am a sucker for ice cream. I love ice cream.
Oh, me
so
too.
I mean, like I'm for sure sweet on the sweet side. Like I have a sweet tooth, like it's crazy. So like I mean, for in my studio, like on top of my art supplies here, I have like a separate shelf that's all snacks. That's my snack library. It's where I use them for inspiration. And like my rule is I can't eat it until I create the piece for whatever. So that's like my motivation. Yeah, but in addition to that, I have like I always eat ice cream. Like I love sweet stuff. So yeah, junk food wise, more on the sweet for sure.
I gotta ask, what's the food like in Guam? Is it like What's like it?
Oh yeah,
What kind of food style is it?
sure, yeah. It's similar. I guess you could say similar to Hawaiian food or like
Okay.
yeah, Hawaiian food or like, and then also Asian food. So I grew up eating rice a lot. So like, if you a lot of the foods inspired by like Philippines or like Japan or Chinese food. And then you also have like, because we're an island, it's like a lot of seafood dishes there too. So like similar to Hawaii also.
Okay.
Yeah. We have like our own version
Nice.
of barbecue. It's different from like the mainland barbecue, like we're just on the sweeter side. Like island barbecue is more on like like we marinate with our meat with like soy sauce, vinegar, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds a little different than Staten Island foods.
And it's all Italian food, No, it looks like a beautiful place, So it's always interesting to find out about like food in different countries and different islands and all this stuff. So
yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I mean, that's like my comfort food for sure. Like food I grew up. So like, so I'm Filipino too. So like, I also have like grew up eating Filipino food, and then and there's also Guam food. The locals, the local names are called chamorro. So the local dishes are chamorro food. Yeah, so I grew up eating like both chamorro and Filipino food, and then like I have appreciation for like everything. I love trying new food out there. Every time I travel, like my itinerary is based on like what am I gonna eat. So majority, I'd rather spend on like food than like anything else. Yeah.
So
what brought you here from Guam?
So yeah, I moved out for college, for grad school. So I went to San Francisco first out of Guam for my MBA. So I did it for 2 years, and then I lived there for another year, and then I moved down to San Diego afterwards. Yeah, definitely prefer San Diego or SoCal in general. Weather-wise, it's similar to Guam. I think that's why I prefer here, and a lot of my friends from Guam moved straight to San Diego because we kind of like all get it,
Right.
It's warm.
more affordable than San Francisco too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was living in the city, and it was kind of pricey, and I was commuting, so it's like I hated my commute in the city. It's just like horrible. I like getting to places faster. Like I hate sitting in a bus, get from my apartment to downtown in like an hour. It's like I hated it.
I'm not laughing at you, Zard. I'm laughing at the comment.
That's a
Why
good
is
one.
Chris Zard peeking like the neighbor from?
Well, no,
Seriously, yeah.
No, that's Chris WRK. So I don't know who that is.
It's a different guy.
Chris work.
Zard,
Different guy.
If you could make a custom of Chris peeking over a fence, please.
Yeah, right.
Just peeking over the
that. That's all I need. That's all I need to do.
Exactly. Peeking out of the head of a money or something.
It's just
a bowl of spaghetti.
Like, it's just a robot.
Exactly, yeah. Like you're just peeping out of like whatever your favorite dishes is, like spaghetti or noodles or soup, whatever. It's like just the top part.
Nice.
Well, I guess now you know what your custom's going to be for the show.
There you go.
So I have a legitimate question. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that some of your first customs were on Kid Robot type platforms, but how did you discover designer toys, and what made you want to start customizing your own?
Yeah. So the way I found like these toys existed. So there's this one shop in Guam that sold it. He sold Kid Robot. Like I'm not familiar at all with like what are designer toys, vinyl toys. They sold the other ones like the the blind boxes, the dunnies, but then they sold the blank. Like, they had the money, so I'm like, well, like I was wanted to start collecting, and I'm like, man, it's so expensive. It's an expensive hobby. So I'm an artist. Let me customize it. Let me try it out. I've heard people customizing it. It's a blank, so it makes sense. And I kind of just did my like quick research on like what customs were out there. And I think at the time, like Kid Robot, they did their like contest, right? Like their custom money.
They used to do that thing every year where they have people.
The first year I did it, like they were doing that, so like I tried it out, submitted a design. I think I won one of it, like a category, like I think it was food. It was food category.
Best food.
I think it was like the first runner-up. I wasn't the first, but I won like first runner up. But I mean like that one, and I just started like researching like people customizing it, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is cool. Let me try it out. And I did a first couple customs. A lot of my friends liked it, so they started commissioning me to do it. And then just kind of picked up from there. Yeah, it's kind of like that's 10 years ago. It's hard to remember how I first started.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of a lot of people are kind of nervous to like jump in and start making their own, but like I just always encourage people that like you don't have to show it to anybody. Just start painting on it, and
Yeah.
if you like it, and then once you get to a point that you're you feel comfortable sharing it, then you can start sharing it. But the worst thing to do is not jump in and start working. Just keep one and keep stripping it down if you don't like how it's working,
Yeah,
and keep trying
exactly.
until you get better. Because you can literally go from buying one and doing it to becoming somebody that's getting solo shows. It's just hard work and practice and a little bit and some skill.
Yeah, I think
But
my first customs were very simple. Like I just slapped on, like I just had, like I think I did a pair of monies, like slap on paint, like splatter style on it.
yep,
Those are my first two I ever did, and I did like a bucket hat and paintbrush, just so I could mess around and get familiar with the toys.
yeah,
And then I just kind of like did other. I think my next one was like I did a person, like I did one based on my friend's look, and then that's where people were like interested in commissioning me to do mini versions of themselves because it's like a cute action figure.
yeah,
And so that's kind of also helped me get some people like see my work and like commission me to do like more projects and stuff.
yeah. When I used to run the blog, I used to do random little customs here and there. Somebody asked me or something, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I just sucked at it. I suck in general at most things that involve skill, but I just really sucked at doing them. But I always had fun making them, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of people think that their hobby or the thing that they want to do has to turn into like a successful art career or a successful hobby or whatever. Um, but it doesn't. You can just have fun with it and suck and just do it yourself and have fun with it. It's a really fun process, and I think a lot of people lose sight of that sometimes.
Mhm.
So I try to remind people that hey, you can have fun with it as well. It doesn't have to be a full-time
Yeah.
gig or anything like that. And a lot of the people that are doing customs, it's not their full-time gig. It's their fun thing that they like to do that also gives them a career or gives them ways to make money. But getting in and starting is definitely not.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's the start. Like, and eventually, if it works and you keep working at it hard, maybe you can work your way up. But in this scene right now, I think it's kind of a different landscape than it was maybe a year or so ago. But it's a good time for people to start working and customizing and building again. I mean, it's an open landscape, and you can keep practicing and working hard and get discovered. So it's definitely a good time if you're thinking about making customs to start trying again. So.
And there's an abundance of toys now because so many were made and not selling.
Yeah, not so many blanks though.
Yeah, not a lot of blanks.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So I have blanks, but I'm stupid. I don't release my blanks, so I have a bunch of them.
You gotta see those blanks, man.
Yeah, I keep things hidden. Like I'm like the dumbest businessman in history, so don't worry. I make stuff to make stuff, and then I hold on to it because I'm a kind of a hoarder. But but no, I do have plans now that I'm going to have this gallery space that maybe I will start opening up and doing things. I guess what I fell into was I made blanks, and then I would give them to other galleries to do shows and things like that, which was fine. It was all like marketing, and I knew what I was doing with it. But eventually, I kind of got tired of I'd give away the blanks or give them to them for a very small price point, and then half of them would sell or whatever. And I'm like, man, I could have made a little bit of money if I would have had a space to do it in. So I just kind of stopped, right? Because it was just like, it's not really a good business deal. So I'd start giving them to people like Chris, and we'd sell them on the side or whatever. But I always felt bad because it's like people aren't getting to see the work, and I want people to at least be able to see it, even though I know a lot of stuff sells online, obviously. But you still want to give it that time to be seen in person and create that spectacle, and let more people see the artwork, because there's so much artwork that if you see it in person, it has a different effect on you than just seeing it, on Instagram or, on our store or whatever. So I have a lot of good stuff hidden away that maybe we will do some cool stuff with. So.
Zard, where does your art training come from, or are you just self-taught?
I mean, I've always been drawing. I'm not so like, I think I've always been like into art all my life, like since kinder I was like drawing. But I think the only actual formal training I had was like undergrad. I did fine arts as a minor, and I specialized in like watercolor painting, and then anything like with the toys or sculpting in general. Those are all like self-taught. I just kind of like messed around and started practicing on my own.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I really only did heavy on that like after college. That's why from any experience I have or training it with the arts is just all like messing around with toys and playing like doing different techniques, finding new materials to use, stuff like that.
Do you still do any, or do you do any non-toy art at all anymore?
No, I'm so bad at like 2D work. Like on like the only one I did like landscape painting. That's pretty much it. But like I always say like, man, I'm really bad like doodler, like illustrator wise. Like, man, I don't trust my skills there. Like I like the whole like tangible stuff, like analog. Like I like making things with my hand. I tried a couple of times, but I just and it wasn't as interested as I am with like toys or sculptures.
And I think if you asked Chris up until about 2 years ago, he would tell you the opposite.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things is, Corey invited me into one of the shows, and I sat there looking at this thing, and I just had no clue what to do with it. And then finally, Corey's like, "Just do what you do," and I'm like, but I see like customs like what you do and all these other people do, and I'm just like blown away by them. So I just feel like stupid just painting on it, and I don't know. I guess people like it. I don't know. I'm just enamored by what like you do, like this. Like, is that all Sculpey and everything you use to do everything, or?
Yeah, mainly Sculpey. Super Sculpey is pretty much the only clay I use, and then like I do a lot of resin now. Yeah, I'm the same way with you though, because like I'm like when it comes to like platforms, like I always kind of struggled in the beginning. Like, man, I don't have like because you can see some work by other artists, and you could instantly recognize which artist because of their style. So like for me, when I was kind of starting, like, man, I don't have because I don't paint a lot like 2D work. I don't have a signature style. So I always struggle with that. Like, do I need to have a signature style or signature look? That's why like I end up saying like, well, the food is what I've been doing. So I'm not gonna have like a signature style, but signature theme. So I'll work on being the food guy, I guess. Yeah. So and then like, as long as it's something really cool, I like to do like realistic food. So that's kind of like my style now, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah. No, and I mean, like
No,
you
it comes
said,
across definitely.
and it's evolved and grown. And I mean, up until the point of like, I remember Corey. I was asking about your piece that the first cause you did for the first show that you were in, and he was, I believe you were saying something like, "Well, is that real food inside of there?" And I was like, no, that's like it's like a little resin piece because it looks so real. And then you put that clear resin in there to make the soup look. That it can't. I guess. I mean, somebody could put real food in there if it might go bad or whatever. But like, your techniques and stuff have evolved to the point where it kind of fools people.
Like sometimes I use real food into my designs. If like I could incorporate something that already exists and it's like food, as long as it's not a perishable like ingredient. I use a lot of dried food and dried ingredients all the time. So like spices, dried herbs, I use that depending on what design I'm trying to do. I would kind of incorporate in it. So like sometimes like if I'm doing like a rice dish, before I like let me sculpt each grain of rice with clay, and I'm like, what am I doing? And then I just take uncooked rice, and then like I just the resin will hold it in place, it'll preserve it. It's not cooked, so it's not gonna go bad or anything.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so that's kind of like I do use some real.
He's evolved.
I mean, like, it's sometimes can't hide it. Like, it looks obvious it's real. It's just like.
Well, I think it's a work smarter, not harder.
Not like
kind
a
of
main
situation.
part of it, but it's there.
But it's definitely a work smarter, not harder situation.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
We have another question. Zard, do you cook?
Oh hell yeah! I love to cook. That's like also why I love to do food art, just because I love to cook too. I always just been a food. Like if I had another career, I would totally want to be a chef. I would totally want to go pastry school or cooking culinary school. I would love to be like a pastry chef. I like to cook basically. Yeah. So and then that's why I'm trying to do some videos of me actually cooking, and then like whatever dish I have, I'll turn it into a toy. So it's like a part 2. Like kind of
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That could be if you ever got on like the Food Network, you could do like the first segment is you making the food, and the second segment is you making
that's
the
a concept I've been trying to like kind of put in the works. Like I'm trying to like an idea I have is okay, I have two split screen like me work. I think I did it one time with like a recent video. Like I was doing like I was assembling a cake. So I kind of clipped it up so like some shots were me working with the real food, and it switches over to another shot showing me working on the custom. So it kind of like it goes back to back, but that's kind of like, hey, I could show the real food and the fake food, and then like in the end, like just kind of show like this is inspiration for this or whatever. But
I feel like I need to hire you to write, direct, and edit videos for me.
That'd be cool though.
Like whenever I come up with like just concepts for like video content for me is just like I'm like absent-minded. Like I cannot come up with like this would be a cool idea for me to do. Like my brain does not operate in that space for whatever reason. And it's always like it just becomes a big challenge for me to create that video content. I know I'm not the only person that's struggling with that in the Instagram world. But it's just your videos always look like they're like just awesome to watch. So it's like I need to hire somebody like you.
Yeah, I don't like to spend too much time on it just because I'm one of those where like I'd rather spend time doing my art, and then the videos is just an afterthought or just something just something to show my piece. That's what like any video I do, I wasn't really planning. I don't do much planning to it. Most of them are just like thinking of something on the spot, throw into the CapCut and just edit it in. And you know, like kind of cool, looks cool, transitions there, and then like just post it. But I think if I spend more time on like actual like my setup, get some legit equipment, and you know, get all the shots I need, man, I'm hoping I could do some cooler stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said that it takes you like 5 minutes, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, yeah, your videos definitely don't look like they took 5 minutes. Like
Chris and I would spend 5 minutes thinking about how we couldn't make a video that looks like yours, and you've already made the video.
It take me 5 minutes to write the description and then you know erase it on accident.
Yeah, the editing part, like sometimes it's kind of depending on like software you use. Like I'm just using things on my phone, just an app, because I know you could do Premiere Pro, like use the legit, you know, get all the effects you want, but then those like you got to learn all that stuff. For me, I'm like, man, I don't have. That's like another skill to learn. Like I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like I need something like user friendly, you know. Like I just need something like.
Yeah, I mean that's always been me with like I'm getting much better at this point with like Photoshop and Illustrator, but I never knew how to use any of that stuff for the first like 5 years of UBD Toys, and before that when I was on Urban Vinyl Daily doing the site stuff. 99% of my photos were edited in I'm like Max Preview. I am probably like the most in-depth user of Preview, and I know how to like make it work. And I use that heavily for everything up until today. There's still things I do in Preview until I got this app called Photo Room. And that app is freaking amazing. All three of us use it. It's Chris, Corey, and I. And and it just gets smarter and smarter. But I do think what's funny is that Preview has gotten smarter as well. So like used to, there was like this manual trick I had to do to remove backgrounds. Now they have like a thing that just goes and it does away with the background.
Seriously.
I was like, finally, guys, I've been using this like makeshift system for like the past like 10 years, and now you give me a tool to just remove the background.
Did you know that trick on iPhones where if you have like your picture, if you have a person there, you just hold it down.
Hold it down.
Yeah. I accidentally discovered that, and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's pretty cool.
And maybe this is just me being stupid. So once you hold it down, what do you do with it? Because like how do you take it somewhere else?
Basically, like you could. I mean, I think how I use it, like copy and paste, like you just want to paste like a sticker on like a Instagram or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. So that's basically it will like just take your outline. Yeah, and then you can just like paste it on like a whatever if you're making a story or something. That's the only time I've used it, but it's just pretty cool.
Okay, we have another question. You wouldn't want a career as one of those goofy food commercial photographers? That could be you.
What was that like? You mean like
like the people that take like a Big Mac and they put like toothpicks and like all kinds of like fake
food
glue
salad
and stuff on them to make them look good.
Totally. So I love watching videos where like they tell you the secrets, or like they don't use all food. So like if you want something to look like shiny, use like freaking like a shoe polish on a burger.
Right.
If you want for something in cereal you use glue, Elmer's glue, because it's thick. So if you put cereal in it, it's just gonna sink in the water in the milk. So you use something. So I like watching those. So sometimes I kind of incorporate those secrets or those techniques into like pieces I do.
So when my first year of college, like in between, over the summer for like I had to get some kind of job basically. So one of my teachers had connected me to one of those studios that used to film commercials for food, and I did it for like a short period of time. But it was really crazy to see the stuff they would make ice cream out of, and how it's got to sit under the hot lights all day and everything. It was crazy.
It's cool. I that's like I kept because like with TikTok too, like sometimes TikTok's another crazy. That's why I get why people get stuck addicted to that. Like it learns what you like. So like I think I started liking some of those videos, so it shows me more of those behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. That's why I like the fake ice cream, like they use mashed potatoes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And
are you worried at all with this TikTok ban that's gonna happen?
I mean, like I have the account, it's cool, but I'm not like 100% like relying on it. Like for me,
right,
I rely on Instagram for like my collectors because the audience is really different. So I know when I first started TikTok and my following it increased, a lot of them are on the younger side. Like they're like kids, man. It's weird. So like they're really just there to be entertained. So like I don't like even the way I market my stuff on TikTok's different from Instagram. So like Instagram, I'd say like I'm doing a shop update, I'm doing release, blah blah blah, stuff like that. On TikTok, I'm just like, here's something cool I made. Enjoy. That's kind of like my approach.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why like I get kind of irritated when Instagram is not showing my stuff to my actual followers, like my collectors, because I rely on these guys for my sales, like for people to know I have new releases. TikTok, it's like if it picks up, it's cool, but I'm not like if it gets banned, like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, it's like what sells on one app, what sells on another app, what works on one app, what works on another. I think we were kind of at a point in like 5 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that, where we just wanted to be able to share content in one spot and it would push to all the other spots. And like the same information would go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. And we all thought that was like the way to go. And what we're kind of figuring out now is that you kind of have to have tailored content for each individual social media if you want to be successful. But it's a lot of work. Social media management is a lot of work for brands and artists and independent creators and all that kind of stuff. So, but people are figuring it out. But it is dangerous to get reliant on one for something like a ban or any of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty good to be spread out across a bunch. But again, back to circle to the beginning, a newsletter cannot be filtered or banned. So, it is not a newsletter, not yet anyway. But the old school newsletter is still a really good tool. And it's interesting to see. I've seen a lot of people like pumping their newsletters of late. So I'm glad I've been doing that for the past few years. Let's see. We're getting some other stuff coming in here. Let's see. Nothing too questiony though. So we no new comments there. So anything else you have going on besides working with Corey? I mean, I know he's got a lot of stuff for you, but after that, what are you working on?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's project after project. So I think after this one, I'll be doing 5 points in June. So I give myself a little break, like 1 week or 2 weeks, and then start grinding out again.
Yeah,
so 5 points will be June.
We'll have a meetup in person, all of us. We can do this.
Yeah, hell yeah. I missed the last 2 years. I think my first 5 points was 2019, and then 2020, and then last year. So I bought the booth for 2019, but because they canceled it, they rolled it over to last year, and then they changed the date last minute. So like the new date I couldn't do, so I had to cancel. So I pushed mine again to this year. So this year, I love 5 points is fun. Like I like doing decon in the West Coast, and then like 5 points on the East Coast. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Shout out to KC, One Eye Girl. We share booth at decon, but for 5 points, I'm sharing a booth with her husband, Corey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he does like custom games, like board games or card games, but we're like kind of all situated in the same area.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's gonna be June, and then August, I have a group show here in San Diego, one of the galleries, Thumbprint Gallery. They give me a solo show every year. Like since I moved out, they're really great. Last year I split it with one of my friends, two of my friends, and then this year we're trying to do a group show with all Guam artists based out of SoCal. So
Nice.
it's gonna be a fun one. Trying to like showcase more of the Guam talent out here.
Yeah.
Just what
Are you doing Decon in December or?
Yeah, we'll do Decon. I know it's kind of like
Yeah.
iffy with a lot of people because of the dates, right? Are you guys all?
Yeah, I mean, at least you're over there. You can drive, right?
Yeah, so that's why I'm okay with it, because I know it's harder for people who have to travel for it, because this is like right before the holidays too.
Yeah, for us it's a little tough too, because Corey and I are too big to be small, too small to be big, I guess is the best way to put it. Where like shipping and all that kind of stuff really affects us. We can't drag all of our stuff in our suitcases when we're traveling. And that time of the year is just a mess as far as shipping is concerned. So it's kind of hard for us to commit
shipping and travel.
Yeah,
book a hotel.
All of those factors together
right
kind
in
of
the
make it
season too. It's just like everything. Travel,
all that
like,
stuff combined kind of just tells me that I need to sit this one out. Maybe I'll go out and just see the show, but I don't know that I will have a table. I'm going to go out and say I'm not going to have a table. Like I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that now. And I'll say that, and then something will happen that will end up giving me a table. But I definitely wouldn't be going out there just to. It's just so hard to like go out there and sell. Like something that I don't want to say you can buy online, but at the holidays, it's hard to sell somebody something that they don't absolutely have to have. So for me, it's hard to invest all that money, time, effort, and go out there and not be at least break even. So that's the fear, and that's why I think it's probably better for me to set it out, just because of the timing of the show. So. And hopefully they still have a great show, and they still have a great turnout.
And hopefully next year to go back to the regular schedule, though. It's kind of like
the understanding we had was they didn't have a choice. It wasn't.
Yeah, they got bumped by a bigger.
That's what I heard.
Person.
Yeah. So, but it just makes it tough on especially people traveling from the Midwest or the East Coast or Florida. So. But folks out in the California show. If only somebody
would
do
something
that.
in the middle now. You got the West Coast, you got the East Coast, and you gotta do something else. I'm trying to do more of that, like trying to figure out if I could do more like out of state conventions or like shows or whatever. Trying to get more active in that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Corey will tell you he's done shows that are not quote unquote toy shows. It's just kind of hard to. You kind of have to go in with a different mindset. It goes from people knowing what you make and coming and checking it out to like, what is this? Why are you doing this?
You got to bring.
You don't have Batman. But I mean, I guess though, like with the food though, you would have at least you wouldn't have to explain it.
What I've done too. Like, there's been local events here in San Diego. They have like they had a ramen festival, right? So I would come out as a vendor, like I'm just gonna make a bunch of ramen pieces. That's kind of like another cool thing. Like I would probably like look for food festivals or food markets.
That's a good idea.
Pretty big. Because people are like get mixed in with like all the food stuff. So I've done like a
local. They're doing like a pickle festival, like you
right? Yeah,
like that.
You already know people love it, so like why not make something?
It's like a little money in a barrel with like
like they've had like a taco fest here. Like I want to try doing that one. Just make.
I remember when you did the Taco Bell ones; those were pretty cool too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just keep hitting all the fast food things. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah, the fast food ones are pretty popular. I just have to find something that like In-N-Out super popular out here. So if I do like an In-N-Out piece, like people
you need to do a Skyline one, like an Ohio one. That's just for me.
It will definitely cater to a specific market for sure. You gotta know like what people like in what area.
Yeah.
You gotta do food truck ones.
Yeah. That's like even that too. Like if I could collaborate with like some, these food trucks or restaurants, make them pieces branded as theirs, but then they're supporting local artists. That's kind of what my selling point would be. It's like you get something custom made based on like your product or your food, but you're supporting like a local artist, So stuff like that. Like I've had some when I was in Guam, like in December for Christmas, I did some like mini pieces based on like restaurants I love going to whenever I'm home. And then like I've had a couple of restaurants actually hit me up afterwards because they said, "Oh, we love what you did for this restaurant. Would you be interested in making some pieces for us?" And then like they'll be interested in like, selling it in their shop, So that's kind of like opened another potential opportunity for me to explore. Like maybe just collaborate with a bunch of restaurants, San Diego, back in Guam too, wherever, and then just like make stuff for them. It's all handmade and that's pretty cool. And then sometimes they give you free food, so like I'll work for food.
You can make a Cat's Deli one, and of course I'll buy it.
There you go.
When you go to 5 Points.
I got to do my research ahead of time. Like, I'm just gonna look for what order of popular spots people go to.
If we can figure out,
I gotta do my research too. So I gotta eat something and then get inspired to make make a piece out of it.
Anything pizza based is gonna sell well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do an L&B piece.
Even though 5 Points has moved, we got to go get pizza at that other place though. The place that was across the street from it, Polly G's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
But
Chris, did you hear about the new Airbnb issues in New York? That stuff that just passed?
Yeah, Corey got us canceled on.
Well, so I can't really say anything on it because my 9 to 5 is very anti the Airbnb stuff.
Right.
Airbnb.
I figured it was the bigger hotels and all that lobbying against. Yeah.
Well, the problem is it's so not regulated, and it really could cause issues. Some places it works out a little bit easier than like New York, where people kind of getting duped, and they think they're getting a room and they're really getting a bed. It's like,
yeah,
it's not regulated. That's the main issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's all on the customer to do their own research, and at the end of the day, trust the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And for anybody listening, the thing that's changing is they can't rent out an entire place, like a home or a whole apartment, unless they register with the state pretty much as a hotel.
Oh.
So we booked one and it was canceled on us for 5 Points. So we had to scurry into finding another one. So, but I think we are solved based on the message Corey sent me earlier, since Corey is my personal travel agent. So
I have an extra bed and a couch. That's about it.
Is that registered with the state though?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to charge you anything. Come on.
So, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
Zard, if you're renting anything, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, but I mean they're just kind of Airbnb. I love Airbnbs if you have like a group of people, but if you have like 2 people, I'm kind of at the point where it's like, hey, just go to a hotel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys found a hotel or?
No, I found another Airbnb that's comparable that'll fit us, and they said that they're registering for the stuff they need to get now, so that should be fine. But yeah, like the cost for, I don't know, 8 of us or something is like $1,400, and then a hotel would be like, I don't know, 3 times that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could stay. There's places you could stay, outside of that area that would be cheaper. Like if you did stay on Staten Island, or even parts of Brooklyn that are not parts of even New Jersey that actually might be easier to get to that part of Brooklyn.
Yeah, because that's what we were kind of getting into for people listening that are going to 5 Points. Where it is at is not necessarily conducive to like a lot of hotels or any of that kind of stuff.
Not at all.
So you are kind of having to navigate your way. Like even the Airbnb we were looking at, it's about 20 to 30 minutes away. Just based on where it is compared to the convention center. So it is not necessarily the most convenient to hotels. But the where it was at before in 5 Points also was not very conducive to hotels. There was only a few options. So
Yeah, but we were able to walk from there. Yeah, that was like shit.
well, we had a sweet Airbnb, so
Yeah,
that was the best thing. And that because the hotel where we almost got flooded out, that was not necessarily the best. It was a little bit of a walk, but it wasn't that bad.
Somebody kept pissing on the toilet seat too. I won't say his name.
Hey, I still can't believe though. So for people listening to this is inside behind the scene knowledge. So we stayed at this hotel. We went to the hotel. We went to the convention center, set up like most of the day. Come back, and I go to open the door to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, shit, the wall is like bubbling out. Like it was just like a bubble on the wall. I'm like, this isn't good. And I look up, and the ceiling is also like sinking down. So I was like, hey guys, like, come look at this. So everybody's looking. We're like, yeah, that's not good. So we called the front desk, and they did nothing.
Yeah, we had to call them like 4 or 5 times.
We had to call them like 4
pretty
to 5
bad.
times. And they finally come down there, and the person said, why didn't you get us down here earlier? We got the penthouse though. We got moved.
Yeah, that was nice.
What it was the hotel was fully booked, and they didn't want to move us to the penthouse. That's why they didn't do anything about it. But they came down and saw that the ceiling was literally about to fall through, and they finally moved us. But that's probably one of the crazier hotel experiences I've ever had, where it was like a bad experience at a hotel. But
and then constantly pee on the toilet seat the whole time.
That was all Corey.
Can't take Prime anywhere.
Xavier wasn't there, I don't think, right?
I know. I'm kidding.
So, but yeah. So as far as like hotels and stuff, if you're going to 5 Points, you're probably going to want to look for that now because, like we said, it's not necessarily the most conducive to getting a hotel. So you're going to want to find the one that's closest to you and closest to it and book it. So. We kind of derailed the whole conversation. This was supposed to be about Zard.
No, it's all good. I kind of said most of what I can. Like, that's pretty much all. Like,
yeah. So
user stars for that. I am drinking this. It does look like Hawaiian Sun. I know I have Hawaiian Sun though.
So for my son's first birthday party, we did a baseball theme, and we bought like a bunch of just cheap beer. So I'm drinking a Pabst. You should do beer ones. That'd be a good one.
I haven't done. I think I've only done a Sapporo.
Yeah.
I've done like miniature beer magnets though.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that one. I did a beer event, dude. Doing events at a brewery.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
When people are drunk shopping, dude, they spend money.
Hey.
I'm just saying.
So
like, because where I live in San Diego, there's like I'm like minutes away from where all the breweries at. So like every time someone does like an art and beer event, I always sign up for it. I do so well in that because people will spend.
Keep in mind the 5 Points is also a beer thing. Yeah. So you should probably make some beer things.
Yeah. I gotta know who the beer people are. We gotta make some connections. Like let's do a trade. I'll make you a couple pieces. You just gotta supply me cases of beer.
I think they usually have Lagunitas.
No, it's the one for the event. The one for the event is usually it's not 5 Points Brewing. It's one of the. It's like a local brewery. It's not Lagunitas for the event, but yeah, it's one of the local breweries because they do it's KCBC, right? They do the like CZ beers and all those things.
Yeah.
KCBC.
Who's excited for DTA's finally happening?
Woo!
Finally.
Public knowledge, but
it's gonna be soon. We got 5 people watching.
So, but yeah, no, it'd be excited to see people get awards and all that kind of stuff again. So,
have you gotten any nominations before, Zard?
No.
No. It's gonna be your year.
Yeah, cool. I won't complain. Be nice.
Put that Cause Reese Cup in.
You doing my shit. I'm like, if I get nominated, that's cool. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Everybody go nominate Zard for his Reese's Cause once nominations go up.
Yeah, come on, guys. I know you guys all like that one.
That's everybody's. I mean, it was just perfect. It was perfect timing too. Just when the show lined up with the boxes and everything.
Yep.
But so I guess I'm looking at the clock, guys. We're at 1:14, so we have gone over an hour. So we have survived the 1 hour point. So is there any questions that you guys wanted to ask that you haven't asked yet? I'm looking at you, Chris.
Well, I definitely asked the one about the Sculpey. So you didn't go to school for art. You went to school for something
Yeah, I
outside
did
of art.
business.
Oh, okay.
Undergrad, yeah, I did business
Okay.
undergrad, and then for grad school, I did business also, MBA. So I
Are
wish
you
I could
in that?
art school. That'd been so nice.
So do you do the customs and everything full time, or do you have a 9 to 5 on top of it?
Yeah, I have a 9 to 5. I do something else, very non-creative job. I work in advertising, so I'm not even on the creative side. I do account management. In advertising.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, well, that's why his
Completely
TikToks
opposite.
are so good. Like,
Yeah, and I mean,
then
and we're even in tech industry, so it's even more non-creative as you can get. The
Yeah.
good thing is like I work from home right now, so kind of since the pandemic, like I've been working from home. Like my job, like we pretty much got rid of the offices, so I just could work in my studio. I already had a space. Good thing is like I had a space already, so the studio I'm in, like I have a different section for my computer setup and stuff. But yeah, be cool to do art
Nice.
full time. Hopefully, no one from work is listening to me right now, but if I can kind of do art full time, would be the dream. Like, I would love to do something creative all day, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I do art at night. I mean, the good thing is like I'm not like tired. Like I may be tired from the day, but like the art's kind of my de-stressor, so like I look forward to it. Yeah.
So I think I think a lot of people might be surprised, but if you are listening to the show or watching it on the video, 3 of the 4 of us have day jobs. So there's only
Yeah.
one person that does this full time. So it's it's a labor of love. We do these kind of things because we love doing it and making these things happen. And not always because it's going to be able to provide for our family. So it's when you see us making stuff, that we're putting our blood, sweat, and tears into it because we could,
After hours.
we want to do it. It's not like we have to, So, but I saw somebody ask about the DTAs. It's the Designer Toy Awards. Usually there is a notification for nominations. I'm not sure when that's going to be. I do know that the 2021 ones went out last year. So they'll probably at some point here asking for 2022 nominations. So just keep your eye out on the Designer Toy Awards Instagram, and they'll probably release that information when they're ready for those. But usually the Designer Toy Awards are nominated and then voted on and then awarded at 5 Points Fest. Whether that is the spring version or if they do a fall version, that's been kind of sporadic, but it is usually awarded at one of the 5 Points Fest. So, but I don't have any other questions. Do you, Corey?
No, I'm going to be hanging out with Zard in a couple days, so I don't want to have nothing to talk to you about.
So I guess if you want to toss out the info on the show real quick, so everybody knows like when lines and all that kind of stuff are official, or if there's going to be any kind of weird ticketing process or anything.
Oh yeah, we usually have people kind of angry about things. So yeah, it's going to be April 1st on Saturday. Show starts at noon. We open at noon. You can start lining up today. I don't care. I'm not managing anything or giving out tickets. You just sit outside and buy the one you want once the shop opens. Online sales start at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So whatever's unsold in those first 2 hours will go live online.
So for anybody that might come sit in your parking lot for the next couple of days, have you alerted the neighbors this time?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so you may get the cops called on you, but they didn't arrest the last guy, so I think you'll be all right.
I don't think I have anyone lining up for myself, man. I wish I was like, I'll be that good where like people line up for it, but yeah, it's just a good time.
You'll see.
It's just me. Yeah.
So
I'll be there. I think at Chrysosaurus. Yeah, I'll be there for the show on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, I got to, man.
Yeah.
Gives me a reason to go on vacation. I need a vacation. Talk about.
Go check out all the cool stuff going on in Tampa.
Be
Go
careful
check
in
out
Florida.
Tiger
Everybody's
King.
got guns, so don't get into arguments with anybody. Just keep your head down. You'll be
You can
fine.
go visit Carol Baskins and ask him about
Yep.
Corey.
Got rescues right up the road.
So, but before we wrap up the episode, I do want to give Zard a chance to toss out anywhere they can find you on like social media or anything like that, so people can follow you and make sure they know what you're up to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm on social media, mainly active on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Zard Apuya, ZARDAPUIA. I do have a website, so like I try to do releases. I think after the show's done, I try to aim for like releases every week. These are just like pieces that I do throughout the week and then release them on Fridays. But yeah, my website, zardapuya.com. Yeah, check it out. Give me a follow. I mean, my content, I try to make it as entertaining as possible. You know, like these guys talk about like my videos. I try to make it cool, you know. Yeah,
Hey,
but like
some of the best toy content I think on Instagram. I don't have TikTok, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely one of the best customs out there. Definitely.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I mean, I try. I mean, yeah, I mean, whoever's following me, like, I post the same thing on Instagram and TikTok. So whichever's your preference, you'll find me.
Yeah. Definitely. And Chris, if you want to toss yours out there,
At Chris RWK, at Robots Will Kill. Same old, same old.
and Corey.
Strange Cat Toys on all social media until TikTok goes away.
And I'm Travis Likens. You can find me at UVD Toys or UVDtoys.com. The Urban Robot Cat podcast can be found on Instagram at Urban Robot Cat. You can check us out here on YouTube Live. You can check the repeat if you didn't catch the live videos previously. They're all going to be categorized there on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/Urban Robot Cat. And you can also check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff where you find podcasts. So this has been the Urban Robot Cat podcast, the show about art and the people who make it.
Cool.